What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Lurker back with another video, and today we are checking out something from PragerU. I've been seeing a lot of black creators reacting to this video, so I kind of want to get into it too. It's a short history of slavery. So without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. All right, let's see. A Short History of Slavery by PragerU. Why won't it play? There we go.
And now for a brief history of slavery.
Candace Owens.
Here's the first thing you need to know.
That's
Slavery
Candace
was not
Owens.
invented by white people.
She's pretty cute.
It did
Candace
not
Owens
start
is pretty
in
cute.
1619
I don't really
when the first slaves
fuck with
came
her
to
politically,
Jamestown.
but
It existed before then. It
and
did not
she's
start
married, so.
in 1492 when Columbus discovered the New World. In fact, when the intrepid explorer landed in
the crazy thing is slavery hasn't even ended yet. Like, if you've been following my channel, you know that I just watched The Sound of Freedom, which is about child trafficking into human slavery, essentially. So slavery is still going on to this day. To this day, 2023, it is still going on, slavery. In like Africa and Asia and the Middle East.
the Bahamas, the native Taino tribe hoped that he would help them defeat their aggressive neighbors, the Caribs. The Caribs enslaved the Taino and, on occasion, served them for dinner.
Yeah,
Slavery
I heard
existed
about that.
in Africa, Asia.
A lot of people don't really talk about the indigenous people of North America. When the European settlers came over, they were like, they had like tribes that were like cannibalistic and whatnot. Like, they had some tribes that were like way off the deep path. So is that justified in the European settlers coming in and taking their land? I mean, what can we do about it? We can't do anything about it. I mean, we could say that it was messed up, or we could say that it was needed to happen. We could say anything, but we can't change the past.
And the Middle East. The word slave actually comes from the Slavs of Eastern Europe. Millions of them, all white by the way, were captured and enslaved by Muslims in the 9th century and later by the...
White people were slaves. Irish people, there was a lot of Irish people that left Ireland and came to the States, and they, not indentured servants or something like that. Isn't that what they were called?
The Ottoman Turks.
The Ottoman Turks.
Slavery existed when the Roman Empire controlled the Mediterranean and most of Europe from the 1st through the 5th centuries. Slavery existed when Alexander the Great conquered Persia in the 4th century BC. It was so common that Aristotle simply considered it natural. The slave master model was just how the world operated in the great philosopher's day. Slavery existed during the time of the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago. As far back as we can go in human history, we find slavery. As renowned historian John Steele Gordon notes from time immemorial, slaves were a major item of commerce. As much as a third of the population of the ancient world was enslaved.
Damn, that's crazy. That quote right there, John Steele Gordon, I don't know who that is, but slaves were a major item of commerce. As much as a third of the population of the ancient world was enslaved. A third of the world. Imagine if a third of the world was enslaved right now. That would be insane. Because we got like 8 billion people, 7 billion people in the world. Let's just round it up to 9 billion. Say about 3 billion people. Like 2 to 3 billion people enslaved. That's how much people were enslaved in the ancient world.
Here's the second thing you need to know. White people were the first to formally put an end to slavery. In 1833, Britain was the first country in the history of the world to pass a Slavery Abolition Act. They were quickly followed by France, who in 1848 abolished slavery in her many colonies. Then, of course, came the 13th Amendment in the United States Constitution.
I didn't know about the other two, but I knew about this one.
After centuries of human slavery, white men led the world in putting an end to the abhorrent practice.
Really?
That includes the 300,000 Union soldiers, overwhelmingly white, who died during the Civil War. Now, am I saying that this makes white people better than anyone else? The Civil War was the craziest fight in the world.
With our country, like, think about that for a second. Think about what must have been going on through the people's heads during the Civil War. Like, you had the North and the South, and they were like, all right, we're going to start shooting each other now. Yep, we're gonna start doing this. We got generals. Okay, here's a battle. Boom, boom, boom. They got battles all over the East Coast. Between the North and South, people dying. It's crazy.
Of course not. My purpose here is to simply tell the truth, and the truth is that human history is complicated.
It is. It is
No
complicated.
one, regardless of skin color, stands guiltless.
Mm.
Yet today we are never told to consider the murderous Persian Empire or the cannibalism of indigenous tribes of North and South America or the heinous actions under the imperialistic
See, I don't even know if all of her facts are straight, but she's saying them so confidently that they sound like they're true, which I don't know. I'd have to look. I'd have to fact check to see if they're true or not. I don't know any of this stuff off the top of my head.
Muslim, Chinese, Mongol, or Japanese empires, to name just a few. Instead, we're told that slavery is a white phenomenon. And like all persistent lies, this lie spawns a bunch of other lies. On social media, I come across extraordinary depictions about how Africans lived like pharaohs before Europeans came and laid waste to their paradise. I wish any of this were true, but it's not.
I wonder if she's not gonna mention Mansa Musa. I guess it doesn't really matter about him in slavery, but he was the richest. He was the richest human to ever live on Earth, and he was black. Mansa Musa. He was so rich that he would travel and give away his gold for free, and it would mess up the economies of the countries he would visit.
Not. It's a fantasy. The truth is that Africans were sold into slavery by other black Africans, and in many cases, sold for items as trivial as gin and mirrors.
God damn!
Whites didn't go into the
Just for
interior
some
and
gin?
round up the natives.
Could you imagine you just got sold? Your whole body, everything about you, your whole being, all of that just got sold for a flask of gin. That's crazy. I don't mean to laugh. I'm just laughing at the I don't know.
Waited on the coast for their black partners to bring them black bodies. The stark reality is that our lives had very little value to our ancestors. Here's the third thing you need to know. If you think slavery is a relic of the past, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
There are some 700,000 slaves
only
in
700?
Africa today.
Oh, that's only in
Right now.
Africa.
That's the lowest estimate that I could find.
Yeah, and that's only in
Other
Africa.
sources say there are many more. For context, that's almost twice as many slaves as were
There's slaves in China, right? The Uyghur, the Uyghur Muslims.
ever brought to the United States. Child soldiers, human trafficking, forced labor. These are the conditions that currently exist within the same sub-Saharan region where the transatlantic slave trade originated. African bodies are being sold today like they were sold then, and no, they are not being purchased by any country of white men. In fact, slavery, by any traditional definition, is exclusively practiced today within non-white countries. But we hear almost nothing about that. Just like we hear nothing about how slavery was universal until good people in Europe and America ended it 2 centuries ago. Why? Because our so-called leaders, black and white, wouldn't profit from it. Black victimhood is nothing if not profitable. It elects politicians and funds racial grievance groups. And if black Americans began to view themselves as partners in the American dream, if we embraced the patriotic spirit that holds all men are created equal, the patriotic spirit that is our real heritage, then the race hustlers would soon be out of business. And who wants that? I'm Candace Owens, author of Blackout for Prager University.
That was an interesting video. Learned quite a few things, especially that 1833 Britain, the Slavery Abolition Act. I didn't know about that. But I don't really pay attention that much to like Great Britain or any of that stuff, and they didn't teach that in school. Well, at least when I was in school, they didn't teach that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you black? What did you think about this video if you're watching this and you're black? Or what do you think about this video if you're white? I mean, we gotta keep the races equal, you know what I'm saying? wish that we could abolish slavery for good, even within those African, Muslim, and Asian countries? I think so. I think we need to. I don't know how, but Tim Ballard in Sound of Freedom, if he's still saving, well, I don't know if he's still saving kids. I don't think he can just keep doing that. I think they let him get away with it for the movie because, well, I don't know. Because I'm trying to think about when I was in the military. If I tried to do something and put something in my own hands, I would get in trouble. So I would just assume the same for him if he's operating as a civilian. Anyways, that's it for this video. I'm going to cut it short. Well, not short. It's about 10 minutes long. If you enjoyed this video, I said movie. Make sure you smash that like button and then hit the subscribe button if you want to join the lurkers. We have about 150 and we would love to have you in our ranks. Also hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I make a drop. My drops usually consist of reaction videos like this and video gaming videos. So if that's your cup of tea, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, do all the things, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, lurkers.